But the big thing that pissed you off this weekend.
Oh, them bitches. Them bitches.
The one thing that will make me change my mind about the Wyatt Sicks is R-Truth. If he joins them.
That would be funny. I mean, his whole thing with Judgment Day was hilarious, so I can see them being like, what the fuck is he doing here? Like,
we just killed a guy. I know. Are we going to get in trouble? I wanted to go up to him and be like, so when are we forming Voltron? Be like, what? What's happening? Because literally just before we started recording, he tweeted out a photo of himself. Somebody put the thing. He was like, all right, seriously, who did this? Like, I feel like he did it. I feel like that, like him with the Wyatt Sicks. I'm like, that just took the piss out of it for me completely because it's been a roller coaster 12 hours. Oh, welcome to the You're Mean to Me podcast. I'm Chris Robinson.
And Toni Robinson.
And you can find all our links on the old link tree. We're on YouTube. Please subscribe. Apple Podcasts, Spotify if you want audio only. And all of our social media links, Instagram, Facebook, X, Twitter, TikTok, etc. So, yeah. Last night, so we're recording this on a Tuesday. The Wyatt Sicks debuted. We'll start with you before I get into it. What did you think of the Wyatt Sicks?
Too scary. Too scary. I think you know this about me. I hate horror films. I hate slasher films. I hate all these things that are creepy. I will watch true crime documentaries, though. For some reason, that's less scary, even though it's real. But
real murders that they're like are reenacting and talking about in the past tense, you're fine with.
But I don't like this. Like, I don't like the masks. I don't like the creepiness. I don't like the idea that like they took out Chad Gable. It looked like a gunshot, by the way.
That's everybody saying.
Or like the big blood splatter behind this guy's head. Like,
yeah.
Listen, when we watch The Boys, I cover my eyes like during those scenes. So
that's a whole nother level of violence on that show.
Yeah, but this I don't know. I was scared. I didn't like it. I had nightmares.
I saw mixed reaction. I think a lot of people liked it. A lot of people have been waiting for it. You know, people love Bray Wyatt, myself included. And I said that on X, Twitter last night. But to me, it didn't land. It's been months of these QR codes, these annoying QR codes that, like, I'd love to know the numbers and if anybody was actually checking them. There were so many of them, all these cryptic messages. I get it. But, like, they came out, they wiped out the production team, and, yeah, Chad Gable's a heel. Why are they involved? The only thing I think of with that is, like, okay, now Otis, who turned on him, sort of. I mean, the shove was gentle. That was not a big, like, kick his ass moment. That was like a light turn your back on. They're like, we're leaving. He's packing up his stuff and going like he's a abused housewife.
That's what it was.
Well, wouldn't Maxine be the abused housewife, not Otis? I don't understand. Is Maxine the mistress and Otis is the wife? And
what? This is a weird.
Tazal was the mailman? What's happening?
I mean, I'm looking forward to see what they do story-wise. I just don't like the visual of it. Like, I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm not loving, like, the scary. I'm not. Like, I feel like WWE has moved away from that. Like, I haven't seen anything like that since The Undertaker.
Well, you didn't see a lot of Bray in the film.
I didn't see a lot of Bray. Like,
but you did watch the documentary with me.
I did.
Yeah.
So I understand where it's coming from, but it was during a time where I wasn't really watching. I mean, I do remember Bo Dallas. I remember Bo leave.
I think that's where I've said this to you. We've had lots of conversations about this, not on the podcast, off mic. And it's a group of mid-carders, first of all. Bo Dallas has never... Nobody in this group is a former main eventer, is a top guy. This is a bunch of mediocre wrestlers who've had mediocre runs at best. And I'm trying not to be mean, but let's be real. And either putting them together with a notebook full of ideas from Bray Wyatt and trying to get this over as like a new scary thing. Like you said, to me, I don't know if it's my age. I know it's been watching this wrestling for 30 plus years, but the supernatural shit doesn't land with me. I like Bray Wyatt when he was the cult leader with the Wyatt family, and I came from the swamp and the chair, and it was just kind of like creepy and weird, but violent, like they wanted to kick ass and win titles and just dominate. And The Fiend didn't really hit for me. The whole like creepy Pee-wee's Playhouse demon thing, and they setting him on fire. The stuff with Alexa Bliss was okay because he needed a foil, but like that didn't land as much with me. And it was like, okay, Bray will just move on to the next thing. He'll go with another idea. But, like, now that he's gone, like, let it lie. I don't know. Like, what's your opinion on them using kind of Bray's, I guess, notes or stories or ideas that he had before his passing and now kind of like pushing forward with it?
Oh, I don't know. I have no opinion about that specifically because, like I said,
You don't think it's weird?
No, I don't know.
Like just playing out a dead guy's story, it'd be like, if George Lucas only made the first 3 Star Wars, but wrote out like 6 more, but died before they were produced. Like, would you trust the production company?
Well, I guess it's like writing a book and then turning it into a movie, right? Like, if the author of those books died before the movies were made, like, would you say, well, like, you can't do that now? No, you do that all the time. So I don't see that as a bad thing.
Okay.
Like I said, my only issue with this is I'm not a big fan of
horror.
Yeah, like even this. Like I'm probably gonna get a lot of shit because people love Halloween. Like Halloween's my least favorite holiday. I hate Halloween. The only good thing about Halloween is like when the little kitties come and they look so cute and you give them candy, but nobody comes trick or treating anymore. So
it's our neighborhood now.
Yeah, I hate Halloween. I hate scary. I hate the masks that they're doing. Like no, I don't. I like to see how it works out. Also, I mean, I am waiting to see where this goes though, because I wasn't around for a lot of the other stuff, so I want to see how it works into like the wrestling side of things.
Yeah,
I want to see how it works out in terms of like who's going, like, because how are you going to have other people engage with them? Nobody else is kind of like, I don't know.
They just made them bigger and badder than like larger than life, which wrestlers are supposed to be. It's like, okay, who has a group that can take them on? The Final Testament? They're heels. Why would they give a shit? Like Chad Gable's family? Like I don't know. I mean, the whole, I think the wiping out the production crew was the big thing for me. Like the fact that they left this like bloody, like almost like faux murder scene. It's like, look, and I said this to people on Twitter because people on Twitter were outraged that I expressed my opinion that I wasn't feeling this. With wrestling, you have to suspend your disbelief.
Right.
Everybody has to, especially in the 90s when things were really cartoonish and all throughout. You're asking me to suspend my disbelief that these supernatural wrestlers killed or murdered or beat up really badly the entire production crew in the gorilla position, and like you said, look, shot Chad Gable in the head. I think I might have seen Braun Strowman in there taken out. Like, I'm all for taking people out and leaving them like a bloody mess, like really show your dominance in wrestling. But this was like, it's too. I can't suspend my disbelief to that level, I guess is what I'm saying. And so I'm just like, yeah, how are they gonna debut like this and do all this stuff with the QR codes and then ground it back in reality in wrestling and have it be so that they just don't dominate people and kill people? Like where are we going with this?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, nobody knows. But the funny thing to me is how angry people got. You would have thought I told a bunch of 6-year-olds that Santa Claus wasn't real.
I think these are people hanging on to like the memory of Bray. Was it Bray Wyatt? Mm-hmm. And thinking like, oh, this is like an homage or whatever. So I think there's like this like sentimentality around it, especially after watching that
people
documentary.
Go watch the documentary. I'm like, I did. Like, I didn't. Bo Dallas isn't the guy for me.
So,
like, he's not the guy. I'm sorry.
I mean, I really liked Bo Leave.
I know I had a very good friend who liked Bo Leave, but it's a funny comedy gimmick. Like even last night, and somebody put it, he almost stumbled. When he was in the back and walking, I watched the clip back, he almost stumbled and had a Shockmaster moment. And you don't know what the Shockmaster is, but it was a famous WCW thing where they were debuting this new wrestler and hyping up the Shockmaster. And he came out in like a bedazzled, sparkly Stormtrooper helmet and a cape. And he's supposed to burst through this wall onto the set. And he fucking fell flat on his face. And his helmet popped off. And he had to scramble, put his helmet back. It ruined it. It killed it. It was a stupid looking character to begin with. But it ruined it, and it killed the whole angle. So, like, I was kind of wondering if something like that was going to happen last night after all this hype and everything, if these guys would, like, just fall or somebody would fart in a microphone. I don't know. I mean,
I think it was executed well. I think it was great as far as, like, even the cinematography of, like, the following them and everything. I mean, if it was a horror movie. Not, like, I just don't know where this is going to fit. Yeah. I don't think this is a WWE that we were in the past, and I don't know I don't know.
This would have fit better if The Undertaker was still an active wrestler and about 20 years younger. Like, that's the thing. This is very in the vein of Undertaker and Kane and, like, some sort of other, like who's going to stand against him? They interviewed
I can see it being funny. Where, like for example, like, if Jey Uso's like, oh, shit, here's these guys again. Or, like, Or like R-Truth, like, oh, like I can see it being funny if they went.
I don't think they're going for comedy though.
I mean, I hope it's not scary all the time. I'm having a hard time with Liv and Dom. I can't shut my eyes for half of Raw at this point.
I just wanted Drew McIntyre, who quit, we'll talk about that, to pop out while at the end of it go, PG brother, and be like, oh, sorry. Like, yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. Jey Uso in a clip afterwards, he was like, I don't want anything to do with those guys. I don't want their smoke. He's like, you can have the Fireflies back. That, to me, was the most logical choice. Why did they not attack and leave Jey Uso bloody and be like, oh, you wanted the Fireflies? Yeah, those are ours. Like, that's Bray's thing. Like, and just beat the crap. Why Chad Gable? Like I said, I have a theory of why, like I mentioned, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, what's more cringeworthy to you, the Wyatt Sicks or Liv and Dom?
I think as a woman seeing this like nonsense play out, I'm like, I feel like Rhea watching this, right? Like that knot in my stomach. What's my man doing with that girl? Like, but
it's on TV. This is what you and I were talking about last night.
Yeah, it's like Rhea's not out in a coma. Like, and it's like this idea that like Rhea and Dom's like, we know, okay, like we know. We, like you said, we suspend reality. We know they're not actually a couple. We know they're not actually together.
Rhea and Dom.
Yeah, but this idea that because she's not wrestling and on Raw that they have no interaction outside of that is ridiculous. Like, she's pissed. She should be pissed, and there's like Tom should be coming in like, oh, Rhea really gave it to me last night, or like all this Liv stuff. She's really mad, or blah blah blah. Like, but the fact that they're all like, did you talk to Rhea? No. It's like,
did you call Rhea?
But
no.
Her phone disconnected. Like the fuck? Like, where is she?
Does she not own a TV? Does she not have a cable or a streaming service to get Monday Night Raw? Yeah. That again.
Like, I would have loved it if like this week he came with the black guy. I was like, where'd you get that from Rhea? Because Liv was on top of me last week. Like,
yeah. Or he was like, had like an ice pack on his junk. Like, yeah, Rhea kicked me in the crotch when I saw her.
Not that we approve of domestic violence. I'm just saying, like, this idea that like somehow.
No, it's wrestling. We do. The guy got shot in the head by.
Yeah, but somehow like this idea that he goes home and he gets it from his woman at home. Like, what the fuck's going on? And he comes back like, oh guys. Like, I just don't believe that he's just like going about like this. Just doesn't seem.
And to that point, also, we said, why do they care so much? What he does, it's like a big brother. You're like, you're not cheating on Rhea, are you? But like, no. And it's like, why do they care so much?
Yeah, I don't know why all of Gentleman Day has to be involved in this. I don't see an angle for that. Like,
let him do what he wants. Like Rhea was challenging Damian Priest for like leadership of the group. Damian should be, as a heel, is he a heel? I don't know. He should be happy she's gone and that he's world champion. He's in charge. He shouldn't give a shit that Dom is with Liv. Like, who cares? It'd be great because you could welcome her into the group and you still have the women's championship under control. Rhea comes back, she could be a huge babyface. Like, it's perfect. Like, what are we doing here? Like, if we're thinking long term, find out when Rhea's coming back, plan for that, and have her. She's gonna come back as a huge babyface. Have Dom be like, "Yep, Liv and I are together." Like, who cares? Like, I'm doing what I want. I'm Latino heat now with his stupid Eddie Guerrero mullet. Rest in peace.
Well, his mullet was feathery. Like, it was up.
Right?
Dom's is like, he's got limp ass hair. Like, what is this?
You need some conditioner in that hair, boy.
Like, just like fluff it up. Get some mousse or something. Like,
get some mousse or something. Oh, we gotta talk about the big thing that pissed you off above all else.
What pissed me off? There's no R-Truth.
Well, that's the one thing we said too. Like, oh, is this Wyatt family's gonna take away from things we enjoy? Like, Truth and Miz weren't on the show last night. Gunther wasn't on the show last night. I like Gunther. I know you're not a big Gunther person. Are you a big Gunther person? Do you like him?
I don't care.
You don't care either way.
He's entertaining, but he's not like someone I'm missing.
But the big thing that pissed you off this weekend.
Them bitches. Them bitches. Winning the titles, right? Is that what we're going to talk about?
That's what we're going to say.
I don't even know their names. I don't even know their names. You couldn't tell. Like, it's like, isn't it Wind and Fire? Like, what the fuck's their names?
Yes, it starts with Fire, beat Bianca and Jade. Wind and Fire. That one actually pretty good. Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn.
See? They're stupid names. They're stupid names.
They are from the WWE random NXT name generator. Yeah, I feel like.
Like, Wind and Fire over here, I don't know them from a hole in the wall. I'm sure that they were... Listen, people are going to say, you should watch NXT. Great. Love it.
You can't go back in time and watch it.
Yeah, but I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't. You know who I do know? Bianca and Jade. Okay? And, what?
42-day reign, I believe I saw.
I would have been less mad if it was them other bitches who won. Shayna and what's the other one?
Zoe Stark.
I would have been less mad if it was them. Because at least they had like main roster like appearances more so. These other two came out of nowhere. You only gave it to them because they were in Scotland, and Scotland was gonna get the screw job anyway. So you're like, let's give you an attaboy, Scotland, because you're gonna see two of your people like lose. Like Piper didn't go no, we knew Piper wasn't winning, but like taking the belts off of Bianca and Jade, like the fuck is that? Yeah, I'm mad.
I can't get a word in edgewise. Yes, it was surprising. I figured it was going to happen because it was a triple threat, and Shayna took the pinfall. So Jade and Bianca can be like, we didn't get pinned to lose the title. And that's what I said on Twitter. I was like, they asked for a triple threat match. And somebody was like, oh, well, they're overconfident. That goes to characters. Like, there's overconfidence, and then there's stupidity. Why would the babyface champions ask for a triple threat match when they don't have to factor in the decision to lose the belts? It's just a little bit of wrestling common sense. That's something like for Triple H to... I guess we'll go with the overconfidence thing, but to me, kind of dumb. I don't know. Did you?
I mean, I didn't think that much into it.
Yeah. You just meant they lost.
I mean, I don't think of those intricacies. You do, obviously, with your wrestling brain.
Johnny details over here. I know.
For me, I'm like, okay, they asked for it. That seems to be like just what people be doing nowadays. Everything's a triple threat. There's 4 people in the ring. Everything's going haywire.
Triple threats, fatal 4-ways. Yeah, they're probably going to fatal 4 for the Intercontinental title after that nonsense.
So, I mean, to me, I'm like, it is what it is. But, like, I'm just mad that they lost it. And then everybody's giving them shit for, like, the whole, like...
The botch. The match itself wasn't great. There was a lot more than Jade's top rope botch. There was a lot of things that were a little sloppy from all 6 women.
Well, I think there was a lot of women in there that weren't necessarily, like, I don't think Shayna and Zoe, like, really put on these, like, clinics of, like, great wrestling matches all the time. And Bianca can only carry so many people. She can't carry 5 other people in the ring and make everybody look good.
She is the EST.
So, and like I said, I don't know these other Scottish ladies from a hole in the wall. So I don't even know if they were like, this is the first I've seen you really execute. And I think you suck. So that's what I think of you now. You suck.
There you go.
You are sucky title holders.
You heard it here first. Isla, Dawn, and Alba Fyre suck. Also, Jade tapped out mid-match. I'm glad they pointed that out. Shane, it was like, the referee missed it. I'm like, yeah, like, how do you not teach her not to tap out to something? Like, what is happening? Like, I'm sorry. Jade's got the look. Jade's got the charisma. Jade's got the size. Jade's got the power.
We get it. She's green.
She is so green in that ring still. Like, if she is not down at the Performance Center 3 or 4 days a week, just working with the top people there to get better and watching tape and learning little intricacies. Like, they're letting her kind of make the mistakes as she goes. And it's glaring because you always talk about, like, oh, the AEW Women's Division and the WWE Women's Division, the stark difference. Like, that is one of the few differences is I feel like to be in the WWE Women's Division, you have to be at a level where you are not going to make those mistakes. Little, basic mistakes. And she continues to make them. And it just makes it look like, how long have you been doing this that you're just not getting it? I mean, look, I've trained. I've been an assistant coach at a wrestling school. I've seen it take some guys 3, 4, 5 years to get it, to even, like, master the basics. And so, I mean, it's a slower learning curve for her, I guess. But, like, it needs to either be covered up better or she needs to be training more. That's the only way she's going to get better. I'm not talking about the top rope thing. That's a whole nother thing. But just the whole putting the choke and her tap in, it's like, what are you doing? That's a finish. If the referee saw that, he has to end the match there. I was always taught that as a referee. If somebody taps out and they're not supposed to, the fans are going to see it. You have to end the match there. So she pretty much got lucky. They didn't see it, and the match got to finish the way they wanted it to, with your 2 favorites winning. It's the angriest you've been about a WWE decision, storyline, anything in a long time.
That. Like, I mean, they're not losing to like if they had lost the belts to, I don't know, name 2 women that are like good. Like Damage Control. If they had lost it back to Damage Control, whatever pairing they decided to put out there, right?
Right. Yeah.
I would be like, okay. If they had lost to
Carter and Chance, former champs.
Yeah, or even Piper and Chelsea Green.
I would really like that.
I would have been like, okay, great, all right, whatever. But then thing 1 and thing 2, I don't know that. I'm like, come on.
That's the first Dr. Seuss reference on the show. All right. So then the last thing we'll talk about wrestling wise from WWE at least is what are you doing? It's not an ASMR video.
Yeah, but my nails look nice. So.
All right. What?
Except this one broke.
All right. And I'm sure a lot of people. I'm sure the camera can see it there. Drew McIntyre
Right.
Quitting.
Uh-huh.
Getting screwed again.
Right.
You agree that happened?
Yes, all that is true.
The one thing I want to talk about, the angle I want to look at, is people were saying him quitting last night would have had a bigger impact had we not known his contract status. That he just re-signed with WWE like a month ago. And that like the internet and has killed kayfabe and blah, blah, blah. And like, this goes back to two things. Like, one, suspension of disbelief. You have to make believe that it's, that he's really quit, and they're probably going to do things to make you think he's really quit. Like, they deleted his social media accounts. His Twitter and his Instagram disappeared.
I also don't understand why the contract plays a part, because if he just breaks his contract, like, all right, come get me, come sue me if you want, like you could still leave, he could still not perform, he could still, like, it could be a whole thing that drag out, like, you're under contract, you have to come back, you can't just, like, okay, well, make me, like, bring your lawyers to come get me, like, you can do that angle if you really wanted to. I don't understand why knowing the contract status is that critical to, like, I don't know, I feel like some wrestling fans are like, come on now.
They're reading too much into it.
Like you have to know his employment status to believe he quit this job. Like, come on now.
I had the details of the contract right here. I printed it off the internet, off my Discord server, off Reddit. Yeah. And the funny thing is, though, this is the funniest part to me. I agree with everything you said, because we kind of talked about the stupidity of that argument from people on Twitter. A lot of stupid people on Twitter. Like, a lot. Like, I had to block a bunch last night, but there's really a lot of just dumb people on Twitter.
Well, you should stop blocking them, because I like.
And they get mad when you differ from their opinion because they're so stupid. They think that if you have a different opinion, that automatically makes their opinion dumb, and it doesn't. It's just a different opinion. But like, you can tell who has zero self-confidence because they have to come back at you with insults and like, you don't know me. Like, and you don't have a profile photo. You've got some cartoon character, some logo, or some nonsense. Like, so you don't want people to know who you are because this is the only enjoyment in your life. Your life is so sad and insignificant and pathetic that insulting people about wrestling on the internet brings you some sort of joy. That's horrifically sad. Anyway, that said, the funniest thing about the Drew McIntyre situation is The Rock is the one who like publicly announced Drew's resigning. With that video he put on Instagram of him gifting Drew the sword and the restaurant and everything. Like, so if they want to like keep kayfabe and everything, like that's the thing. You can't pick and choose where you're going to keep kayfabe to make the internet fans happy, because the internet fans, myself included, like, who cares? It's what they think is the best storyline thing. And Drew quitting that to me was a huge turn when he was like, I hate this company, I quit. Like, I was like, like.
Well, but this isn't the first time they take issue with this. Like, people would comment on, like, what's her name? Nia. Nia's big on the TikToks and putting out these videos with the other female wrestlers, and especially Tiffany, are their besties. Yep. And it's cute. But people are like, oh, kayfabe's dead, now we know they're friends. Like, okay, and? Like, you can't know they're friends? Like they have lives outside of this company. Like, they're not here to perform for you 24/7. Like, we never look at, it's like Bridgerton, right? They're all mad, like, oh, the guy who's with the girl on the show, he actually has a wife outside the show, and it's heartbreaking, and they're not really together. Like, get over yourselves. Their whole life isn't this.
I specifically said no Bridgerton talk on this podcast.
Sorry.
No Bridgerton talk.
But it's just...
Good day, madam. Oh, no. No, I see what you're saying.
I think people need to, like, let go of these characters for a minute and remember that these people have real lives outside of this, and they're allowed to display that life on their own personal social media as much as they want to.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If it's coming through an official WWE channel or a TV show or social platform, then that's, I guess, character or story, like, that's that lane. But, like, yeah, I mean, Nia's been doing this for years. She used to do videos with Alexa Bliss all the time. She's always been a big TikTok, Instagram
yeah, I mean, Dominik Mysterio went out there and, like, showed videos and photos from him getting married. Are we supposed to not see that because we think he's with Rhea?
Did you call Rhea? Did you talk to Rhea? Did you tell Rhea that he got married?
Like, it's just like...
Meanwhile, Rhea's boyfriend's laying on her butt on the beach and posting photos of that. So, I mean, it's like, yeah, we like, come on. Like, this is just storyline. But again, it just goes back to how much are we supposed to suspend our disbelief, and when and with who? Like, I think it just makes it difficult for people, and they just want everything to be in this, like, wrestling tunnel. Like, nope, everything's supposed to be this way. Because Vince brainwashed him over the last, like, 40 years. Like, different time. Yeah,
and I think, I think we can suspend that disbelief for the 3 hours they're on TV on Monday. Like, I think we can just look at this as, like, the show that it is. Like, we know that it's scripted. Like, just treat it like that. Like, even sometimes you get on me because I'll be like, oh, I believe like the Real Housewives was that's a real interaction. Like these aren't like produced. And you're like, no, they're produced. I'm like, no, shut up. I want to believe that this is how it really is. Right?
Vanderpump blew that out of the water with that final episode.
Yeah. So, but I'm not dumb. I know these things are coordinated and orchestrated and predetermined. So it is what it is. But I think some people need to get over it and move on with their lives and take up a hobby.
Touch grass, as they say. I do hate when people say that, but it applies, I think, for a lot of wrestling fans on Twitter. It's like, look, yeah, we're not going to like everything. Like another thing at wrestling school, they said wrestling's like ice cream. There's so many different flavors of it. You're not going to like everything. The supernatural stuff, this Wyatt Sicks, it's not for me. Could they change my mind? Could they prove me wrong? That's not going to be a flop? Sure. And I'm willing to admit that I'm wrong when that happens. But out of the gate, my opinion is that this doesn't do it for me. And it's coming across, I don't want to say hokey, but it like too much, like too over the top, powerful and violent and stuff for these guys to come in. It's like, okay, so is they just going to run roughshod and just, bludgeon people and hit people with hammers and smash people in the head with things and just like, okay, now it's not wrestling anymore. Now it's the boys. Like you said, like now that's where we're at. Like, no, things have to be settled in the ring. And how's that going to work? Is Uncle Howdy just going to be this like killer? Are the other guys going to wrestle? Like it's taking away spots too. I feel like if the other members of the group are going to compete in some way, now you've got to insert them and take away spots from people. And like I said, none of these guys are proven. I'm sorry, Eric Rowan was not a great singles wrestler. He's a tag guy. Dexter Lumis, Joe Gacy, also had NXT runs and whatnot. Nikki Cross is like the only one who I'm like, oh yeah, she'll fit in the women's division. She's great. She's a good wrestler. She's played a crazy character before. But yeah, Raw's a 3-hour show, so they have time. But one of my biggest concerns is I don't want it to take away from a ton of talented men and women that are killing it right now on Raw. And like I said, Truth and Miz not being a part of it last night was like, what the hell? We took them off TV so these clowns could come out and do their shtick. Like, all right, I guess, because nobody likes watching our Truth every week. He better join. That'd be great. I'm the Six. I'm the Wyatt Sicks.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Women Foreman Voltron. Please say that line. It'd make me so happy. All right. So, as we've found out today, the Wyatt Sicks is garbage. No. Internet fans are garbage. Everything's garbage. Everything's garbage.
That's such a positive note to end on.
Alba, Fyre, and Isla Dawn. It's like a trigger. Those women are a trigger for you now. All right.
I was surprised I knew the one that was called Fyre. I said Wind and Fire thinking like I'm just being stupid.
Oh, yeah. I got to call them Earth, Wind, and Fire from now on.
That implies there's 3 people. It's just Wind and Fire.
I'm going to get him a manager. I'll make a call. Anyway, thank you all for watching and listening. You can subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you like the video. Leave a comment. Let me know. I want to hear what you all thought of the Wyatt Sicks. What
are you sure
think?
about that? Are you sure you want to hear what the people are going to say?
I don't. I like other people's opinions.
People can be cruel. One of them called me fat.
Yes, we had a YouTube comment call you fat once.
That was not nice.
I know. That's how the internet works. Dumb people can say whatever they want.
And it wasn't even Carlos.
It wasn't even your It wasn't even your brother. It was a random stranger, as most people on the internet are. Yeah, Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I can't talk. Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Twitter, Instagram, everything is in the link tree. Make sure you go there to get all our no, I'm not. No, you see, we did this last week. You're ruining the bit. You're ruining the bit. It's not a bit. All right. I'm tired. You tired?
I'm going to go work out.
All right. Say goodbye, Toni.
Bye, Toni.